Hello! Welcome to my farmhouse life. This is the biggest room in my farmhouse besides my kitchen. This is the sewing room. This is my favorite place to be, and today I would like to give you a tour of my sewing room. So starting over here, this is my ironing table. This is an old ironing table. I love old stuff. I have a nice pressing mat. This is great for working with blocks, for quilting and stuff. And I have my Aliso iron, which I absolutely love. This is a used one that I've gotten, but for those of you that don't have one, these are amazing because, as you can see, they pop up and down on their own. For those of you that have them, you know what I'm talking about. So onward, this is my Singer Quantum Stylus sewing machine. This is new. I've recently purchased it just a few months ago. After working out all the bugs, it is a great machine, and it has tons of stitches on here, which is one of the things that I really love about these style sewing machines, and that it has the nice table that's built-in on, which is great for building quilting blocks and things. This is my sewing desk. This is where I do all of my sewing, and I have a nice array of sewing things in my room, which I like to make it look like a quilt shop. I also have a scrap bin. I don't waste any fabric, and usually any small pieces I try to keep in here in organized colors. I like to refer it as organized chaos, but it works. On over here, this is my cutting station, and this is where I cut all my fabric and my blocks. This table was designed for me because for me to have a clear ruler and a rotary cutter, it is hard for me to hold a rotary cutter and try to rotary cut. So in my past, I have sat on the floor with my mat and tried to hold my clear ruler with my foot, and it wasn't really good, but it worked. But my boyfriend had this specially built for me. I can actually measure my fabric on here, and this helps hold my clear ruler so I can cut things squarely. So I really like to give you a demonstration on how this works. Okay, so I want to explain a little bit about this cutting table. This is a clear rotary cutter, shape cut clear ruler, and it's made by June Taylor, and it's into the lid. It cuts with your rotary cutter up to 12 inches, and it will cut in half-inch increments. And it is perfectly aligned with my rotary cutter mat that's in the table. And this is actually interchangeable for me too. When I wear it out, I can replace it. So I want to give you a demonstration on how this works. I have a piece of scrap fabric here, and I can perfectly align it to the edge of this gray area because that's where my zero is going to line up on my first zero line here, and I can cut this all the way up to 12 inches. So if I wanted to cut a 5-inch block, I would put my rotary cutter into the 5-inch slot, and it would perfectly cut, and it holds it while I cut it. So I can move this aside, and I have another piece here, and I can line it up on the lines and put this lid down, and then I would cut in the 5 again, and I could make a perfect 5-inch block. And this works with all sizes. So on to a little bit more of my room. This is an old style Singer sewing machine. It is a 99K. We found this in our farmhouse when we bought it. I was originally going to just set it up for decor, but Jim found out that it worked, and with a little tweaking he's made it run, and I have sewn on it, and it's a really enjoyable little machine for something different. This is a table here that I have a space where if one of my friends come over and bring a sewing machine, they can sit up and sew with me. I have some random stuff on here, quilting. I have a little TV in here also that I like to watch YouTube videos. That's kind of how it got me started on this. This is my original machine. This is a Janome New Home 2030 DC. This is probably one of the greatest little machines I've ever had. It's very simple. It's a computerized machine. My sister likes to sew on this, so I keep it set up all the time because sometimes I still like to use it. Onward to this is a Singer Futura. I have this for embroidery, but it also sews. This is a machine that we would hook up to our computer, and it does lots of different designs for things on projects you can have embroidery designs put on. On the shelf I also have a Cricut. I'm not really into the Cricut too much, but it's a fun thing to play with. I also have a serger and some random fabrics, and that's probably where I should get started into the fabric. Fabric is sewing life for creating stuff, and I have a lot of variety of fabric. I like to keep it nice and neat and try to keep it color coordinated. A lot of my fabrics I pick up at sales, some new. Some of it's given to me. Anyway, I have quite a collection. I like to keep it neat. On to my quilting machine here is another find that I bought used from a friend. I haven't played with this a lot, but I do have some quilts up here that I'm getting ready to start. So this is just a manual machine. There's nothing fancy, but it's really fun to play with and it gets the job done. On over here, I have several of these little mannequins in here. I like to display my homemade aprons that I've made. These are one of my pride and joys. Another fabric shelf. This is an old secretary desk that I picked up at an estate sale. It was pretty rough. I had a vision when I bought it, and I painted it and filled it with colorful fabrics. I like my fabrics displayed because I feel like it's a quilt shop feel kind of thing. I like to be able to see what I'm looking for and what colors I need. The drawers are great. These drawers are filled with fat quarters, all nice and neatly stored in there. So when I open up a drawer, I can really see what I'm looking for in certain colors or patterns. I have an old coat rack in here. These have several of my makes on here. Not everything is homemade by me, but most of it is. Bags that I've made, different things. Some more homemade aprons. I love my aprons. More fabric. Every sewing room should have lots of fabric and lots of choices, because that's what a girl likes. So I have lots of softies for different baby blankets, flannels, more random colors. These are all cottons, Christmas fabric, and some heavier duty and plain fabrics down below. And some more aprons. If you've noticed my curtains in my sewing room, these curtains were all made by me. There are 7 windows in this sewing room, and the curtain fabric I picked up at a garage sale, and I really had to do the math to make 7 curtains for the windows in here, but they turned out great. Okay, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about my quilting machine. This is a Janome 1600P. This is just a regular manual quilting machine. It's nothing fancy, but as you can see, we haven't played with this a whole lot, but it's fun to play with. We're just getting to get to know it better, so hopefully we can do some demonstrations on this in a future video. So over here I have another workstation in the middle of my room. This is for cutting up bigger fabrics. I have a nice rotary cutting mat on here, and I use this Sewology cutter for bigger fabrics, and I can get into that later. I also have weights. These weights are handy for an extra hand for me. When I do need an extra hand to cut, I can use this easier, so that works really well. I also have another ironing station. I love having an extra ironing board in here for guests when they come and sew with me, so that we're not all crowded onto one ironing board. And I also have a second Aliso iron. I love these. This one is also used. Onward to my cupboard here, which has my chalkboard. I love my chalkboard cupboard, and I love to draw things, so this might randomly change if you see future videos in here. I am very artistic. So inside here is just storage for extra spools of thread, Cricut stuff, sewing books. You can never have too many of those to kind of learn from. I have a lot of these little blocks that I do that I cut up on my cutting board out of scrap fabric when my bin is overflowing with scraps, I usually cut from 5-inch blocks down to 2-inch blocks. And these are great for projects of making quilts and just fun stuff because I love to mix and match the colors. The bottom shelves are just random storage as well. And then to finish off my room, this is the coffee bar because I am a huge coffee addict and I feel like coffee keeps me going and I don't want to run downstairs to get my cup of coffee. So it's great to have a cup of coffee in the sewing room. And I have these cool little sewing cups as well as a small Keurig and, you know, coffee bean grinder, so keeps you going. So I thank you for taking this tour of my sewing room. I hope that I've teach you to reach for the stars, to inspire you because you can do it, and hopefully I've entertained you. So stay tuned for the next video. Have a great day.